Hi everyone, Quilfin here again. I asked today on Instagram whether or not you want to see another collection video of mine, a tarot collection video of mine. And a couple of you said yes, so here it is. I thought, because I had already 19 of my decks out, that it would be an easy task to get the rest. I was wrong. This is what we have to deal with today. Just so you know. Okay, I will adjust you to my trusty camera holder. I thought you had to see this at least once in your life. And then we will start. So, I probably don't have the largest collection of all time, but I definitely don't have a small one either. So, get yourself a cup of tea, get yourself a beer, make yourself comfortable, get yourself a blanket or your cat on your lap. Do whatever you want, but just get comfortable because this is going to be a long video. If you saw my last video, or second to last I think it was, you know that I actually didn't work with many decks in 2017, but I actually got a lot of decks. So there are a couple of decks that I haven't even worked with yet. So I won't talk about them a lot. I just simply will show you a couple of cards and move on because I got nothing to say about them because I simply don't know. I have my cup of tea to my left, but I kept it away from my deck, so they are not in danger, in case you're worried. And let's start now. There's no particular order in which I'm going to show you the decks because I don't have a clue when I bought what. So I'll just dive right in. So this one is the the Golden Thread Tarot. Darn it. It's actually a deck that I have worked with and that I love, and we connected straight away, although I have to say it wasn't easy for me to adjust to the cardstock because it is on plastic cardstock, so it is very, very easily bendable, but of course it's very undestroyable as well. So I had a bit of a hard time adjusting to that actually, but I love the images. I love this gold on black theme going through the whole deck. It's a very easy read, maybe because the images are just so kind of stylized in a way. I love this deck. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous deck. Again, easy to read, and it's just fun. It's just fun. Once and it's one of the very few decks that I didn't have to edge because it came on plastic, black plastic, so the edges are already black. Another thing I loved. The little details, guys, the little details. So, oh, now I have to take care of my cup of tea because I don't want anything to happen to my cards. This is the Circle of Life Tarot. Actually, I am missing a card for this deck. I need to ask Aello Scarabeo for a replacement because I cannot use it, which is a bummer. I etched it purple, exactly the same shade as is the borders. I love the backs of this deck. I just love it. I think I'm missing the Empress, but I had 2 strength cards. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. And it is beautiful. It is a beautiful deck. Look at this death card. Very evocative, just very... it's just stunning. It's a beautiful, beautiful deck, and I would love to work with it, but again, I'm missing 1 card, and I don't feel like I could actually do a reading when there's no Empress in this deck. This is not gonna happen. So yeah, definitely enjoy this deck, and it's the only round deck I have actually. So love this wheel. Yeah, gorgeous deck. I need to ask for a replacement. Forgot about it actually. Damn it. Need to do this as soon as I can. Next one is the Hesychos Tarot. And this is actually a cute deck. And it's because of the colors and because of the pictures in it, it just gives me joy reading with it. And I think this kind of translates, I love this Empress, kind of translates into the readings because they're always a bit more, I mean, it can get to the point, but most of the times the readings are a bit lighter in tone in general. I love the court cards. That's the only heartbreaking card in this deck. Again, it's just cute. I like this, but it's a well readable deck as well. So you can actually read with it like easily, and it will answer your questions accordingly and not just kind of whitewash them. So like this one, I haven't worked with it a lot, but it's definitely one that I use every once in a while. Next one is a deck that I love, and you all know that I love it. It's the Tarot of the Sidhe. I don't know how I ever could be without this deck. I love this one to pieces. It's very different to my other decks. It's one where I'm not too sure about the artwork. Actually, I still don't. It's nothing that I would put up on my wall. Let's face it. But it is so communicative. I don't know. It just likes to talk. This deck likes to talk, and it really sucks you in. At least it did for me. So it is one of the few decks that really pulled me into the cards, and I had kind of conversations with characters depicted in the cards, and it was just amazing. I have a video about that experience up on my YouTube channel, I think. And it has my favorite moon card. One of my absolute favorite moon cards of all time. So I love the Tarot of the Sidhe. Highly recommend it. Wouldn't want to be without it. It's on my top 10 list, I guess, because it just is. But I think if I start talking about a top 10 list, there will be like, in the end, there will be like 20 decks on my top 10 list. So I probably better don't do that. This is the Wild Unknown, and actually this is the mass marketed edition. I edged it, I trimmed it, I love it. It's gorgeous. Despite the images, I actually did not expect this, but I feel like this is a very gentle deck. So that's lovely as well. I don't know how you guys feel about it, like those of you who have this, but to me it always is kind of a gentle deck. It's a nice thing to once have a deck without any kind of human or humanoid depictions, so I like that as well. I don't have that many decks without humans. Next one is another print deck. I know, I'm sorry. It's the Tarot of Delphi. I don't even know. I think I heard that there will be another edition probably coming out, but I'm not sure about that, so please don't hold me responsible. I'm not quite sure. I etched it in a nice linen color, and I just love it. With every card, you really can sense the amount of work that got into it in case of, or in regards of how much the creator of this deck thought about what image to apply to which card, because of course these the drawings already, or the paintings already existed. They're not specifically done for this deck, as you can see, because most of you will know at least a lot of those pictures, if not all. But it's so thoughtful. And the little booklet that comes with it is amazing in explaining why she used what drawing for what card. I love it. I love it. To me, it's a very fiery, a very, I don't know, it kind of has a temperament. It has a temper, this deck. It's very fierce and fiery to me. Might differ for you a lot, but that's how it appears to me. Or it's revealed itself to me that way. Next one is a huge love of mine. It's the Sasuraibito. I love this deck. I love it. I'm not going to go into detail now again because I have a video up. I think it's, again, my second to last video where I talk about the decks I used in 2017, where I talk about this deck at length. I just love this deck. I love it to pieces. It reads so beautifully and so easily, and we just have a connection, I think. And I know that it actually is a great read for a lot of people. So I know there was kind of a hype going on around this deck, but I think it really lives up to the expectation. So I just love it. When this deck came in the middle of last year, I kind of forgot about all other decks. I remember that the Ostara Tarot arrived, I think, a couple of days before this one. And I haven't worked with the Ostara at all since then. So just because I fell in love with the Sasuraibito immediately, like the second I touched it, I was in love. I love the gilding. I love everything about this deck. I just love this deck, period. Next one is the Prisma Visions. I actually, Visions. I can't talk. Bear with me. I wanted to say I traded for it. I didn't really trade for it because I bought it, but I bought it on a trading group where you kind of had the chance to also, like if you didn't have anything that the person wanted who traded this deck, then you could also pay for it. This is like, I think, a normal thing to do. So I paid for it and I got it at the end of last year. Not really the end. I can't remember when I got it. Must have been a couple months before that because I remember that I said that I'm not going to use this deck now because it's a wintry deck. And I think so it probably was in the summer or in the autumn. I can't remember. Again, last year I really did not use a lot of decks. So I didn't really work with the Prisma Visions as well. But I have a feeling that we will go along really, really, really well. I love the images. I love the style of art. It reminds me of Van Gogh, obviously, because it's kind of the same, again, art style. And, hi, Izzy. So I really enjoy that. Why is nobody telling me that I'm showing you the cards upside down all the time? This is because I'm looking at this little screen to see if I am kind of in the frame. And I didn't see that I was showing you the cards upside down. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I love it. I love the concept of the minor arcana always kind of forming one larger picture in each suit. I love it. So I'm really looking forward to working with this deck. I have a lot of decks where I really look forward to working with. I don't even know when I will do that because, I mean, the day only has 24 hours and I have a lot to do. But okay, this is just the way it is. Okay, here's the Ostara Tarot that I already talked about. I don't know, it's maybe because I waited for it for so long because it always got delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed. So at one point I wasn't that excited for it anymore. I'm not a huge fan of stacking tarot decks into piles. I don't really know why I think I forgot about that because otherwise, oh, there's a cat. Otherwise I probably would have made it another box. Although I love the box it came in. It wasn't like, maybe I can stack it to the side and put something else to the other side and take the booklet out. I'm not quite sure. I have to think about it. So, back to the deck. This is the Ostara. Every time I look at the images, I think it is, oh my god, this Temperance card. It is such a stunningly beautiful deck. Oh, give me a second. I need to quickly take my tea before my cat kind of does anything to it. And I end up with soaked cards. So I'd rather put it to the side myself. Okay, I'm back. So it is just beautiful. I simply haven't worked with it yet because, again, I think the Sasuraibito just got there around the same time, and I just fell in love with that. So I need to still work with this one. I love a lot of the images. Whenever I look at it, I think it's just beautiful. So another one where I'm looking, oh, gorgeous, gorgeous. Really looking forward to working with. One thing I did not like about it in the beginning, I think probably it wore off by now, was the gilding. I mean, it's a lovely gilding, but there is on top of that typical glistening silver, there's some sparkle. My fingers always got sparkly with this deck, and I hate that. But yeah, that's just the way it is. So can I put them here? Just one side? Oh no, the deck, that doesn't close then. It's too high. Pity, because I would have loved that, because again, I don't like stacking my decks into piles. It's just not useful to store them like that. Oh well. Okay. Next one. Another one of my beloved decks. This is the Archeon Tarot. I made this box for it, so it doesn't come with it. I need to always say that, I think. I edged it black, and I just love it. It's my surgeon deck. It simply doesn't give a shit. And it cuts to the heart of the issue without a doubt. It's almost like it makes these little slices that you then can look at under a microscope. You know what I mean? It's like that. So it's not the most gentle deck. Wow, I love this Five of Swords. I just love this deck. I love it for that, for being so, well, again, for not giving a damn. It just tells you what you need to know, whether you want to hear it or not. It's just honest. It's a very, very honest deck, and it always goes a bit deeper than expected. So it's not a deck to stay on the surface. I love it for that. Gorgeous, gorgeous deck. Next one is another one that I haven't really worked with that much. I need to though, because it's on my maybe trading list. I have a list of decks with 3 columns where I just simply check off whether or not I want to keep a deck, I want to trade a deck, or I think about trading it. This one is one that I think about trading it, but I will give it another chance because it just deserves it, because it is actually gorgeous. It's the Ananda Tarot, and I mean, look at it. It is beautiful. It has a very, not necessarily airy, but it has a very light vibe. And with that, I don't mean that it's like in regards of the atmosphere, in regards of it being a happy deck or anything like that, but it's just, it kind of floats. It's a bit like that. So I really like it. I have to work with it though. I haven't worked with it enough to really talk about it. I made the box. It came in a huge box. I hate the backs. Quickly have to put that out. It came in a box that kind of resembled, those of you who are a bit older, like me, excuse me, it came in a box that resembled the boxes for the old VHS cassettes, like old videotapes, you know, like those huge thingies. Yes, kids, there was something out there called VHS. Next one. The Mythical Creatures Tarot by Baba Studio, the limited edition. It's one of those decks. I was so excited for this deck, and I mean, I spent a lot of money on it. I edged it, by the way, golden, in a gold type, golden tone, because I thought, I mean, it just needed it. just matches the backs so beautifully now, and the front as well. I was super excited for this deck, and when it came, we simply didn't connect. I still feel, though, that we will find together, like we will come together at one point. There's a dragon as the hermit. There's a dragon in this deck. A dragon. How can I not love it? I think sometimes just there is too much going on in the cards for my liking. But again, I think we will get together at one point, and I'm not willing to give it away. But I haven't really worked with it at all. I tried in the beginning a couple of times, and it did not really work out because I simply couldn't connect with it. But again, I think sometimes you just have to be patient, and usually I'm right about whether or not I'm going to get along with the deck or not. And I feel like we will get along in the end. We just haven't had like a perfect start. So definitely going to keep it. Let's quickly put this away again, because there are too many decks to make a mess, right? So next one is another one that I love. I made this box for it, and it's the Labyrinth Tarot. Now, those of you who have the Labyrinth Tarot will say, whoa, the Labyrinth Tarot is a huge deck. What did you do to it? Well, I trimmed it. I trimmed off a lot, actually. I kept a slight golden border, but I trimmed off all the rest, and I love it, and I do not regret it for a bit. I also edged it in the same color. I just love this deck. I even love, or not necessarily love, but I came to terms with it changing the colors for the suits in a weird way, at least to me in a weird way. But I came to terms with it, and I just love this deck. I love the artwork. I love the pictures. I even love that there are a lot of bare-breasted women and bare-chested men in this deck. I don't care. I mean, there are pictures that could be on the cover of a fantasy book. I don't care. I love this deck. I mean, look at this Wheel of Fortune. It's just too beautiful. And it has such a beautiful feel to it as well. It's just, oh goodness, I love this deck. And I actually use this deck a lot to play Solitaire because it has a nice size for it. Now that I trimmed it, you know? I know, blasphemy. Could you do that? Well, I can. And I'm not even apologizing for it. Next one is the Enchanted Tarot. Again, I made this box because I got this one gifted. I got it gifted, Kelly, or did I get blah 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 blah. Did I get it gifted or did I get it in a trade? I cannot remember right now. But I got it from Kelly, who got it from someone else who allowed her to pass it on. It's a weird thing. And it came to me already trimmed. I just simply adjusted a bit, and I edged it in gold, like to match the backs. And it's beautiful. I actually separated, for whatever reason, I separated the major arcana. I don't know why I did this. I cannot remember it because I haven't worked with this deck in a while. The special thing about this deck actually is it is a collage deck, but all the parts, or not all, but most of the little parts in the collages actually are fabrics. And it's just, this is just interesting. I also blinked this deck. I don't know if you can actually see it. Let's try it here. Here you can see it. So I used nail polish to, well, bling it. And I have a video up on how I did this. I love it. I'm not gonna give this one away. I doubt anyone would want it with all the bling and the trimming and the golden edges and everything. People probably are screaming at the screen right now saying, why? Why did you keep it originally like the way it was? Well, that's just me. The next one I'm not gonna try to pronounce even. You can read the name. I'm not trying to pronounce it. It's a Polish deck. It has a very interesting feel to it. Oh, I made this box. It came in a tuck box. Very interesting feel. A bit ghostly almost because of the art probably. I mean, look, it's just so gorgeous. Another interesting thing about it is that the minors do follow much more a numerological line than they do follow the Rider-Waite-Smith theme. So the meanings are shifted. At least I think so, because I cannot read the booklet because it is in Polish. But just from the pictures, there's a lot of difference to the Rider-Waite-Smith imagery, and I actually enjoy that. I have to work with this deck a bit more to kind of explore. I mean, look at this, like the Ten of Swords, and you see a man with a lot of books. This is definitely not like the typical Ten of Swords that we know about if you just look at it from a Rider-Waite-Smith point of view. So it's very interesting, and definitely need to explore it more, because I think there's a lot more there that I haven't already kind of delved into. Yeah. Next is a Thoth deck, because why not owning a Thoth deck? I also made this box. It was my very first attempt of doing a box, and I don't think that it will hold up well, but for as long as it does, I'm going to keep it. I actually had the Thoth deck up on my trading list. I edged it, I trimmed it, and very, very recently I re-edged it. I had another color first, some yellow gold. And I also wrote down the keywords, and for the major arcana, the Kabbalistic and the astrological association. And now I really actually want to keep it. So I'm not 100% sold, but I think it's always good to have a Thoth deck in your possession, isn't it? Like it, like the original Thoth deck. I actually like it. So I need to work with it, because it just, I don't know, I stacked it in somewhere and did not look at it when I hadn't written on everything, and I hadn't made the box. So it just now that I kind of rediscovered this deck, and now I need to work with it. Another one from my maybe list that I now maybe want to keep. It's the Celtic Dragon Tarot. I made the box for it because I got it without a box, actually. Not even a tuck box. It's beautiful. And actually, there's nothing about this deck that I dislike. There wasn't at any point. I just simply did not reach for it at all. So we'll see how this might change now. Who knows? But it is beautiful. It's a Rider-Waite-Smith clone, so I mean, there's a bit of changes here and there, but mainly it follows the Rider-Waite-Smith structure. And it's just beautiful, this medieval style, and all of the dragons. I mean, you know how much I love my dragons. So yeah, I need to just pull it out more often and work with it, I think. Oh, have I shown you this? When I made the box, I found these stickers, and I put them in there, and now it looks like the dragons inside of the deck try to claw their way out. Okay, I am quickly gonna stop here. I don't know, maybe I will even upload the video in different parts and not put them together, so that it's easier for you, because it will be a lengthy video. We're just I think a quarter of the way through, maybe a third. So I will stop here, and then I will be right back with the next part.